guys, it's Anya, otherwise known as Pink Sweets here on YouTube, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Pink Sweets with a 1 instead of an I. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below anything you want to see on my channel. It really helps me out, and I appreciate all of your support. So today's video is so exciting. I previewed a sneak peek of what it might be on my Instagram, and that is we're going to do a tutorial with the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary palette. I'm so excited. This is the one thing that I did get from the collection. I didn't feel like I needed any more brushes, and they were $125 for the set. As far as the highlighter goes, I'll talk about that when we get to the highlighter portion. The liquid lipstick, I do own one of those. I own the Everlasting Glimmer Veil mine is in the shade, Televator? No, Razzle. So I thought about getting the gold one, but then I thought, how often would I really wear it? So I haven't picked that up, but I might pick up a few items. The Kat Von D palette does come in this beautiful gold packaging. This unicarton is just stunning. And then on the back of the unicarton, it says all the shades and has like a little picture of what they look like. I don't think that this really does the shades justice though. And the shades are named after people who were a huge influence to her. The palette has 16 shades, and like the shades are named like Adele, Malice, Ashley, Gina, Egypt, Sylvia, Lala, Leafar, Melanie, Alexandra, Nancy, Catherine, Kelly, Sarah, Caroline, and Chad. So these are people that were all influential to her, is what I heard. And then you open up the palette and it has the most beautiful artwork. I mean, just stunning. And it's very soft to the touch. I don't know. It's not like NARS packaging, but it's still pretty soft. And it's, you know, a very hard palette. It does come with a mirror, and the mirror does stand up on its own, so that is really good. And these are the stunning, stunning shades. Now, I really had to stop myself from wanting to do a rainbow look with this palette, because I feel like you could get a nice rainbow look with it. But we are still going to do something pretty cool with it. So I am excited. I hope you are too. And let's get started. So I haven't done anything except for my brows so far. I'm just going to set the carton to the side. And I'm going to take my hair. I just recently colored it, and I'm just going to clip the one side out of my face so that hopefully I don't get makeup in it. I'm going to prime my eyelids, and then I'm going to put on the tape. So I'm going to try to use as many Kat Von D products in this video as I can. The two things that I could not find that I know I have are Kat Von D's eyeshadow base, but it is like yellowy base, so I'm just going to use Soft Ochre Paint Pot from MAC because it's similar. And the foundation. I think I gave the foundation away. Don't quote me on that, but I know I've used it on my channel, or I feel like I've used it on my channel once before, but for me, the foundation is very full coverage, and I don't feel like I need quite that level of coverage, and I feel like when I do use that level of coverage, it turns cakey on me. For instance, the Estee Lauder Double Wear, I've never been a fan of, and I know so many people love it. If you love it, if it works for you, that's amazing. I wish it worked for me. We're actually going to use it today in conjunction with another foundation, because I did want to use one that was similar to the Kat Von D one. And we're just going to put our tape on. I have no idea yet exactly what we're going to do, like what kind of eyeshadow look, but I don't really usually plan my looks, as you guys know. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to grab the palette. There are so many looks I feel like you could do with this palette. I feel like I could do a purple look. I really want to use that green. That green is like calling my name. So I think I'm definitely going to Definitely going to use that green. I am going to use a glitter adhesive for part of the look. And I'm going to use the NYX glitter adhesive. Maybe? Yes. Okay. Ooh, it just came out as a glob. Because I do like using glitter adhesive sometimes on with eyeshadows that are shimmery, because I feel like it helps them along. Not that they need it, but just the, I don't know, the tackiness really, I feel, helps them along sometimes. So we're just going to use some of that. Not a lot of it, but some of it. You're probably going to hear my dog snoring in the background, per usual. I'm going to go in with my Morphe M441. And I think I'm going to just start with that green. I don't know. It's like calling my name. And the green shade, oh boy. See, I wish the shades were, okay. So the green shade is called Leafer. I'm going to try to tell you what the shade names are as we go along. So that is very pigmented right off the bat there. And I think I'm going to go on the outer. Wow, that is stunning. Now I will say that this shade does remind me a lot of the shade Iggy. I don't know if you guys have the Metal Crush eyeshadows. I do. I don't know if I have Iggy right here in front of me. Let me see. Yes, I do. Haha, for once. I have what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna swatch Leafer. So that is Leafer. And that is Iggy. And when I put them on the back of my hand, I can't really tell that big of a difference. I feel like, well, I didn't pick up as much of Leafer, but there we go. I feel like they're pretty similar. So I feel like if I used Iggy, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But upon looking at it, I feel like that's the only shade that immediately stood out to me, as I've seen that shade before from her. Because the blue, even though she does have a blue Metal Crush eyeshadow, the blue in the palette is actually a matte shade. So that is not similar to Paranoid, I think it's called. So I'm just putting that in the outer crease. And I think I might put it in the inner as well, but I'm going to need a smaller brush for that. I'm going to use this blue Morphe one. And I'm just going to grab some of that same shade. And I'm just going to place that right there in the inner corner. Yes, 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 yes. I would have to say that green eyeshadows are probably my favorite to work with myself. Maybe blues as well, but for sure, I don't know, there's just something about a green eyeshadow look that just, I just love it. And look at how pigmented that is. I mean, that's crazy. So I'm just gonna blend that a little bit more. Just blend the inner corner a little. So I kind of just placed it. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the blue over top of it a little bit, just on the outer portion. That's this shade right here, which would be the shade Chad. And I'm going to be using Kat Von D highlighter, Kat Von D contour, Kat Von D lip product, what else? Kat Von D concealer, Kat Von D setting spray, and setting powder. I didn't realize how much Kat Von D stuff I had. until I started getting ready for this video. Oh yeah, those two go nicely together. And I'm just kind of putting it on the outer portion because I do want to make sure that we still have green. And this palette, I love the fact that when you look at it, I think I mentioned this about another palette recently, but to me a good palette is a lot of times when you go in and you look at a palette and you're not automatically like, oh, everyone's gonna do this look, you know, because I feel like with this palette I have seen, oh, I think I was actually talking about this palette when I said this. No, and it's so true. Like, I feel like every look that I've seen on YouTube or on Instagram has been different from all the others. Like, I don't feel like I've seen two people do a look that looked exactly the same with this palette. And I think that that's because it's so versatile that there's so many different looks you can do with it that people don't just look at it and go, oh, I'm gonna do that. Like, definitely I'm gonna do that. So I think that speaks volumes as to how good of a palette it is. Now we're gonna go in with this beautiful duochrome shade. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's like, it's kind of like that shade from the Manny MUA palette where it had like the, it's just very iridescent is the best way to put it. And I'm just going to take a little bit more glitter glue just on my finger and just tap it in the center just to give it a really good sticky base. Okay. And then we're gonna go in with our, this is my e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush. I'm just gonna kind of pack it on. It kind of reminds me of Solstice from Urban Decay. The one Insomnia, I think is what it was called, from the Manny MUA palette. The Blue Brown Pigment from MAC. But slightly different. That is so pretty. I don't know how well this is going to translate on camera, because it is picking up, oh yeah, it translates pretty well. It's picking up all of the beautiful blues and the greens from the eyeshadows that I have on the outer. That is so pretty, you guys. I love it. And this is not going to be the only look that I do with the Kat Von D palette. I'm going to try to do at least 3 looks, I think. And if you need any further inspiration, Heidi Weiler here on YouTube, she has been doing some looks with this palette as well. Yes, 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 I like that. Okay, I'm going to take that same M441 from Morphe and I'm going to go back into the green. And I'm just going to kind of reinforce it above and around. Just because, oh gosh, it's so stunning. And I don't want to have lost it. But yeah, I know she's done some looks with it, and I know Kate Marks has done some looks with it. Okay. I think as beautiful as that shade I put in the middle is, I'm trying to think if I want to add something else in the center. I think I want to add that gold. So I'm just going to add a little bit on the same brush of that gold in the center. Just a little. Oh, Bailey Sarian. I saw her do some looks with it too. I think it's just so cool to look at people's, different people's takes on the palette. So I just put a little bit of that gold over top of that other shade in the middle, and I think it looks really cool. So I'm gonna remove the tape, and I'm gonna grab a makeup wipe. We're gonna set aside the palette for now. I'm just gonna make sure that I get anything off the lower lash line. You guys know I like to go back in to the lower lash line. I got a hair on my face. I should have clipped the other side too. Okay, for some reason this side is a little more winged out than the other. I feel like sometimes I can't get the tape even. Let me know down below if you guys have that issue too. Where's that blending brush? And when I have that issue, sometimes I just exaggerate out the side like this really well. See how I just did that messily in the corner? And then I can do that, and that gives it a little bit more of a winged out look. Okay, good. So now I'm going to take the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Just not my favorite, but I did really want to use something that was similar to Kat Von D's foundation, which was also not my favorite, to be honest. I think it's great for people that want / need full coverage, but for me it was just a bit much. And I've already put the and that shade is a bit dark. I've already put the oh, what is it called? You guys know, the Glam Glow Illuminating Moisturizer on, which I'm using as my primer today. And I just mixed the Double Wear in with my Fenty because I just don't feel like I can do it on its own. I feel like it would completely cake up like it did in the Elvira video, I think is when I used it the last time. So I don't want to use it by itself. It's just very full coverage. And I've heard people say like, oh, it lasts all day and this and the other thing. I've also heard people say that about the Born This Way foundation. For me, neither one of those two by itself works. Both of them tend to break up on my skin. I'm not sure why. Because I hear other people say, oh, it's such a beautiful foundation. And I think it looks fine in the beginning, but then very quickly it goes to, for me. So I prefer to not use it. But occasionally I'll mix it in with something else just so I use it up. But I think it's time for me to pass on the Double Wear. We'll see. I'll see how I like it mixed with my Fenty foundation, because usually mixed with my Fenty foundation, I like anything better. I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. I don't know why, but I just feel like The Fenty foundation makes everything better for me, foundation-wise. Let's see how blended that is. Yeah, that's actually, it's not too bad. But I just feel like sometimes it gives me texture I don't have normally. So, ook-a-dook. We're going to go in with the Kat Von D concealer in L5 neutral, I think. No, L1 neutral, sorry. I'm very pale. And this is a very thick concealer. It's very light though, which I love because it means I can actually highlight with it. I need to repurchase it. I actually took out the stopper, which is why it looks a little messy. Because when your concealer is getting low, if you take out the stopper, it will actually give you way more product. So that is what I did. And if I haven't said it, I'm using my Sonia Kashuk blending sponge. Per usual. But again, this is a very full coverage concealer, which I don't know. I feel like the formula has changed as it's gotten older. I feel like in the beginning I really loved it, and I was like, oh, I'm always gonna have to have this in my life. And since using the Makeup Revolution one, and how, I mean, you guys have seen me blend out my Makeup Revolution concealer, and you know that it takes me maybe a minute, and I'm still sitting here blending this one, because if I didn't, it would be, oh, it already looks like a cakey mess. Okay. But I think that's because I used the heavy foundation. See, yeah, well, it's done. We gotta move on, right? But yeah, it's very full coverage, and I feel like when I try to blend it out more, I feel like it picks up my foundation. So, but I do think, like I said, it's because I need to replace it, and I feel like it's been, what is on my under eye? There we go. I feel like it's just been too long since I've had it. Okay, I think that's as blended as we're gonna get it. So we're gonna go in next with the Kat Von D Petal Brightening Powder. I saw on Sephora.com, I think, that they are discontinuing it, which makes me really sad because I liked it. I wish that they would have made it in a bigger container, because I feel like you could set your whole face with it if you wanted to. And I actually feel like it does brighten even my pale skin. And I like it better than the Kat Von D normal setting powder, which is what I'm going to use for the rest of my face, which looks like this. I feel like I kind of forced myself to use this one because it's just not my favorite setting powder. But again, keep in mind when I say these things that it might work for you. And these are good products. They just don't work for me because I feel like they're all very heavy and full coverage. And yes, I love the full coverage look, but because there's not a lot I'm trying to cover at the moment, I don't need the full coverage feel. Like, I can get full coverage look through like medium coverage products. So I think that's why I don't like them. Not because they're not good, not because, you know, because they are good. I see people use them all the time that love them. So now I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light Contour Palette from Kat Von D. And I'm going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Brush. And I usually go into these two middle shades, which I'll try to show you, but I kind of cracked them. Very pigmented. Switch to the other side. I'm just going to use this to kind of contour and bronze. I think it's a bit more pigmented today because I actually cracked it, like I said, a little bit. Just going to warm up my nose just a little bit. There we go. Okie doke. I'm just gonna kind of take my beauty blender and stamp over it, and then I like to take it and just kind of do this to clean it up. Now we're gonna go into my Kat Von D blush. I have this blush duo. I have the one in Morticia and Gomez, and it looks like this. This is more of like an illuminating shade and more of a pigmented shade. And I just kind of swirl the two together. I do really like this blush. I have another one. I think I have Bonnie and Clyde. It's like more of a peachy coral duo, which would have looked really good for this as well. I'm going to go back into the Kat Von D brush and just, there we go. Okay. And now I'm going to spray my face using the Kat Von D Lock-It setting mist. I do like this setting mist, but I feel like I have to hold it right up to my face because I feel like it's not strong enough of a sprayer for me. Some people like that. I prefer full on. So we're going to do two different highlighters. We're going to use the Alchemist palette. Awesome. It's also... I've been finding that a lot of my powders recently have cracked a little bit. I don't know if I dropped a bag with them in it, but in any case, I'm going to go in with the middle one, which is like the pinky shift one, on my Royal & Langnickel brush. Gonna put a little bit of that down. There we go. And what did I use? Oh yes, that's right. Okay, sorry. And then I'm going to use the Metal Crush. Now this is what I was going to talk about with the anniversary highlighter. I feel like the anniversary highlighter, which I think is called Gold School, is very similar to this middle shade right here when you put it on your face. Which I'm going to put over top of that one. And it's like a gold champagne-y, with like a goldish green shift, maybe is the best way to describe it. It's hard to describe. But I feel like the two shades are very similar. And it's $30 by itself. Let's just be honest. And for $36, I can get a backup of this palette. And I use this palette all the time, so I think I would rather do that than buy just the one shade. So that is what I personally am going to do. But if you don't plan on buying this, and also both of them are very glittery highlighters. So if you're not a glittery highlighter fan, you're not going to like either one of them. I'm going to go back into the Alchemist palette. I'm going to grab my C brush, and I'm going to go in with Green Emerald from the Alchemist palette, which in the pan looks white, but it works really well as an inner corner highlight. See? Love it. This is very similar to the Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit, in my opinion. Yeah, I like what that did to the inner corner. Very pretty. Okay, now we're going to use NARS Black Moon, yes, eyeliner. It is literally a nub because I use this so much in my everyday life. And when I say that, I mean off camera. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara. I feel like every time I wear a black shirt in a tutorial, I get it very dirty with powder. I've actually been liking this mascara a lot more. I was just about to say because it doesn't get mascara on my face, but then it just did. But that's my fault because I rested it on my face, so as soon as it dries, I'll get it. You could even take that inner corner highlight and put that in the center of this look. That would be really pretty too. I love how this mascara smells like coconut. And I just touched my nose with it. Perfect. Only a little bit. Okay. Let's see if we can... That came right off. Yeah, once it dries, it usually comes right off. Ooh, I like that so much. You guys, love it. Okay, I'm just gonna spray this just to meld the powders in. You guys know I usually spray a few times in between, you know, to set my face. I'm gonna use that C brush again, and I'm gonna go into... I'm actually going to go into something different. I'm going to go into that purple shade. I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. Okay, I like that, but I'm going to go into the royal blue shade that we used, and I'm going to put that on top of it because I just want it to be really intense. Okay, I'm going to use a Duo Fiber brush and yeah, to just hopefully sweep away any eyeshadow that fell. I'm going to go into whatever setting powder I have here and just kind of get rid of the under eye mess that I made. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the mascara on the lower lash line. And I'm gonna try one more coat on the upper as well. If it hasn't fully dried, you can put a second coat. Okay, nice. Very smoked out. So we're gonna go in with Urban Decay Wicked Lip Liner. Oh, actually, let me clean off my lips. I had on lip balm and foundation. Okay. And I'm going to go in with Kat Von D's Sexer lipstick, which is a bright pink. This is a mini one I got in this set. It's kind of like a blue pink, if that makes sense. I think that's pretty bright, but I like it. Now we're gonna do one more spritz. So overall, my thoughts about this palette is it is stunning. Kat Von D products, as you could probably tell as I was talking, her powder products are my favorite. I'm not a huge foundation fan of hers. Concealer's okay. I like her brightening powder. I love her eyeshadows. I love her highlighters. But this palette is absolutely stunning, and you can do so many looks with it. And you have your neutrals, you have your brights, you have your pops of color. I mean, you just have everything in this palette. And I think that this look came out stunning, and I think it was fairly easy to do. So I will try to do a few more looks with this on my channel. Let me know down below if you definitely want to see that. And just adding more highlight. So yeah, I do like the way that it turned out, and I'm excited to go to dinner with this look on. Just brush out my hair. So yeah, I do definitely like this palette, and I do plan on doing some more looks, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.